Good afternoon, students. Do you hear me?
Yes, doctor.
Yes, sir, clear.
Yes. Today we'll discuss foundations of curriculum and process of curriculum. Foundations of curriculum. Four categories of foundations of curriculum are defined: L- philosophical, psychological, social, and historical. The discussion is only concerned with the first three foundations. Philosophical foundations. Philosophy directs our action. In the absence of a coherent philosophy, an educator is only influenced by external pressure. To a large extent, curriculum reflect philosophical. Major philosophical viewpoints have emerged within the curriculum field: idealism, realism, pragmatism, and existentialism. Also, the educational philosophies are personalism. Its philosophical base is the realism philosophy. It aims to educate the rational person and to cultivate the intellect. Also, specialism is philosophical base is the idealism and realism philosophies. The aim of the education here is to promote the intellectual growth of individual and to educate the competent person. Also, we have heard of progressivism. From the progress, we can say progressivism. The philosophical base is the pragmatism philosophy. Its educational aim is to promote democratic and social living. Also, we have reconstructionism. Reconstructionism is philosophical base, if also pragmatism. The aim of education here is to improve and reconstruct society to educate for change and social reform. Also, we have here psychological foundations. Learning can be examined in terms of major theories: behaviorism, cognitive development, and phenomenology. Behaviorism is the oldest theory of learning and is being transformed into several current teaching learning models, such as individualized learning, direct instruction, and mastery learning. Major theories here: the law of effect. We can see here. Also, a cognitive development theory. It represents the second theory of learning, which has developed rapidly since the 1950 year. This corresponds with the increasing influence of Piaget and Velinsky growing, we can see here. Also, humanistic psychology. It's also called phenomenology psychology, which can be considered as the third and most recent learning theory. Also, we have here social foundations. Understanding foundations of curriculum is essential because such foundations have always had major influence on scholar and curriculum decision. Also, we have here the process of curriculum. We can see here. The curriculum process include the following: curriculum design or organization, curriculum development, curriculum implementation, and curriculum evaluation. In curriculum design or organization, it's complex activity both conceptually and in its implementation. Designing a curriculum requires a vision of education's meaning and purposes. must be carefully considered to that curriculum will impart social concept, attitudes, and skills. In designing curriculum, we should consider philosophical and learning theories to determine if our design decisions are consonant with our basic beliefs concerning people, what and how they should learn, and how they should use their acquired knowledge. Horizontal and vertical organization. The organization of the curriculum's components in any curriculum design exists along with two basic organizational dimensions. Horizontal organization, which builds curriculum elements by combining history and sociology content to construct other fields of studies. Vertical organization refers to the sequence of curriculum elements in curriculum design dimensions. We have many dimensions for designing a curriculum. Scope, or scope or kind, it refers to the breadth and depth of content. It consists of all contents, topics, learning experiences, and organizing phrase comprising the educational plan. Also, we have here a curriculum whose scope covers only months or weeks. Usually is organized in units. Units are divided into what? Into lesson plans, which usually organize the information and activities into a period of hours or minutes. Also, here we have sequence. It means seeking a curriculum that will foster what we can see here the cumulative continuous learning and decide how content and experiences can build on what came before. Also, sequences curriculum content we have here principles. Simple to complex learning indicates that content is optimally organized in a sequence proceeding from subordinate components to complex components, highlighting interrelationship among components. Also, we have a pre-request learning is similar to part to whole learning. It works on assumption that bits information must be grasped before other bits can be comprehended. Whole to part learning means presenting the content or experiences in any overview that provides students with the general ideas of information or situation. Chronological learning refers to the content whose sequences reflect the time of real-world occurrences. Also, we have il continuity. Il continuity is vertical repetition of curriculum component, ideas, and skills that educators feel students should develop over time or appear over the length of a curriculum. Also, we have an integration. It refers to the linking all types of knowledge and experiences contained within the curriculum plan. It emphasizes horizontal relationship among topics and themes from all knowledge domains. In articulation, it refers to the vertical and horizontal interrelatedness of various aspects of curriculum to the way in which curriculum components occurring later and program sequences relate to occurring area. Also, we have a balance. When designing a curriculum, educators strive to give appropriate way to each aspect of the design. In a balanced curriculum, students can acquire and use knowledge in ways that advance their personal, social, and intellectual goals. Also, we have the curriculum designs. Designs of curriculum are of three categories. Subject-centered design, they are most popular and widely used. ones. Also have learner-centered designs. They focus on student. They should based on student lives, needs, and interest. Also have a problem-centered design. They focus on real-life problems of individual and society. They intend to reinforce cultural traditions and address unmet needs of the community and society. Here we have the curriculum development. An effective curriculum provides students and teachers with experiences that foster deep understanding, sophisticated skills, appropriate attitudes, and socially constructed values. And educators formulate master plans prior to creating or implementing a program for students. Also here, con- curriculum development consists of various processes, technical, humanistic, and artistic, that allow schools to realize certain educational goals. Ideally, everyone affected by curriculum would be involved in its development. So most school curriculum models can be classified as either technical, scientific, or non-technical, holistic. Technical scientific models, it stresses student learning specific subject matter with the specific outputs. And curriculum development is a plan for structuring the learning environment and coordinating personal, we can say, materials and equipment. Here we can see the approach applied scientific principles and involved detailed monitoring of components of curriculum design. Also, we have non-technical and non-scientific models. Non-technical curriculum developers trace the subjective, personal, elastic, and heuristic and transactional. They trace the learner rather than the learner's output, emphasizing activity-oriented approaches to teaching and learning. Students always evolving. As we see here, they are active participants in learning process, not passive recipients of knowledge. Also, we have here the aims, the goals, the objectives. What is the meaning of each one, and what is the difference between them? Educator first step in curriculum development should be analysis of needs and tasks. Educators must determine what students need to learn for success in school or life. Then they determine what the curriculum should include. Therefore, aims, goals, and objectives should be clearly identified and stated. The aims, they are general statements that provide direction or intent to educational action. So we see here they identify the curriculum overall direction. Example of such a developing self-realization, provide the skills and understanding necessary for productive employment. So aim for what? For a general statement. Aim. And educational aim should be intellectual, which focus on the acquisition and comprehension of knowledge, problem-solving skills, and methods of thinking. And social personal, which are concerned with the ways in which people relate to other individuals and society and how individuals view themselves. Also productive, which center on educating students to function within home on job as citizen. Also, we have goals. Goals, they are a statement of purpose more specific than aim, which come from professional association, government agencies, state departments of education, and school district. For example, learn how to be a good citizen, develop skills in listening, speaking, reading, and writing. So goals like aims should address the current times but also be relevant for the future. Also, objectives, they are a specific statement that indicate either general or specific outcomes. And behavioral objectives indicate the specific behavior that students is to demonstrate to indicate learning. And we have features here for this objectives. They should match the stated goal and aims. They must have worth and be non-trivial. They should be clearly expressed, easy to understand and agree on. Their wording depends partly on its level and scope. They must also be appropriate by considering students' needs and the content to be covered. They should they should be grouped logically so as to make sense when units of instruction require because of change to students' society the biggest one was to proceed to the next part of the plan or lesson plan, which should be legal to comply with the law. Also, we have here types of objectives, behavioral objectives. Educational objectives should be concluded in the term of observable or measurable achievement. The behavior for students can demonstrate that they have acquired particular skills or language. And you have education objective must describe the behavior that will indicate a learner has achieved the objectives. The condition or situation imposed on learner when he or she demonstrate achievement. The minimum proficiency level that will be acceptable. Also, we have non-behavioral general objectives. They use more general words to denote the learning designed to know or understand. Also, we have the cognitive objectives. The cognitive domain of objectives comprises or intellectual thinking. And we have in the taxonomy of educational objectives, cognitive domain Bloom divided cognitive learning into number one, we can see knowledge. There are objectives which are related to knowledge of facts, classifications, principles, theoretical. Also, we have a comprehension. They are objectives dealing with the translation, interpreting, and extrapolating on information. Also, we have the application. They are objectives related to using, abstracting, in particular situation. Also, we have an analysis. They are objectives that relate to breaking a whole into a part and distinguishing elements. Also, we have synthesis. They are objectives that relate to combining parts into a new form, such as unique communication, a plan of operation, or a set of abstract relations. Also, we have an evaluation. They are the most complex objectives that address making judgment in terms of internal evidence or consistency with the data produced. And this is taxonomy of cognitive evaluation, synthesis, analysis, application, understanding knowledge. Bloom's taxonomy of cognitive objectives. And also we have Bloomfield examples. Knowledge like what? Arrange, define, duplicate, label. Comprehension like classify, describe, explain, express. Application like apply, choose, demonstrate, dramatize. Analysis like analyze, apprise, calculate, categorize, compare, like that. Synthesis like arrange, assemble, collect, compose. And the evaluation like apprise, argue, assess, attach, choose, like that. And also we have the affective objectives. They relate to the affective domain, focuses on the issue of altitudes and predispositions. So they broke down into 5 levels of achievement. Each level depends on attainment of previous level. They are receiving objectives refer to the learner's sensitivity to the stimuli. This includes awareness, willingness to receive, and selective attention. Responding objectives refer to the learner's active attention to stimuli such as acquiescence, willing response, and like that. Valuing objectives refer to the learner's beliefs and attitudes of worth, which manifest as acceptance, performance, and commitment. Also, we have organization objectives refers to the internalization values and beliefs, which involve the conceptualize of values and organization of value system. Characterization, which is the highest level of internalization. Also, we have here psychomotor objectives. This domain has received less emphasis than cognitive and affective domain. They require attainment of previous level. And we have here include reflex movement, segmental reflexes, and intersegmental reflexes. Also, we have fundamental movement objectives at this level addresses behavior related to walking, running, jumping, pushing, pulling, and manipulating. Also, we have perceptual abilities, objectives at this level addresses aesthetic, visual, auditory, tactile, and coordination abilities. And you have physical abilities. The objectives at this level relate to the endurance, strength, ability, reaction, ability. So skilled movement objectives at this level are shared within and discursive communication. That is the their movement. Here we have select how to select that student need in order to succeed. And to account how well it's social media. The criteria here for the content. We have number one legal constraints. They are related to content decisions, which are stated for curriculum groups by stated policies. So they begin their content selection work by sharing information about legal constraint and law, so that all group members gain clear understanding range of their dictionary authority to make additional decisions about program should and should not include. Also, we have a significance. Content to learn significance only to the degree to which contribute to the basic ideas, concept, principle, and generalization, and so on of overall aims of curriculum. And also authenticity. It speaks to the need to include information that intellectually sound. Also, we have self-sufficiency. It means help the learners to attain the maximum of self-sufficiency. It means furnishing content that enable learners to connect their intellectual, emotional, and spiritual selves. Also, we have the interest. To these whose favor the learner-centered design is a key criteria. Therefore, content must be selected with the student interest. Also, we have the utility, concerned with the usefulness of the content, which is influenced by ethic, philosophical, and favored curriculum design. Also, have learnability. It relates to the optional placement and appropriate organization consequences of content. Feasibility, it means considering content in light of the time allowed, the resources available, the experts of current staff, the nature of the political climate, the existing legislation, and the amount of public money is available. Here we have the curriculum implementation. The curriculum implementation is much more than handing out new material or course of study. Many planned and developed curriculums do not get implemented because a plan to incorporate them into schools' educational program does not exist. It requires restructuring and replacement. Requires restructuring and placement. It requires adjusting personal habits, ways of behaving, program emphasis, learning spaces, and existing curriculum and schedules. Two kinds of basic understanding are essential to implementation. The first is an understanding of organizational change and how information and ideas fit into real world context. The second is an understanding of the relationship between curriculum and the social and institutional context into which they are to introduce. Also, for implementation to success, those involved must understand the program's purposes, the roles people will play within the system, and types of individual who are to affected by interaction with the new curriculum. Also, people who create a new curriculum or course are eager to see the school or school district enthusiastically implement it. Also, people need to know the purpose of innovation and what innovation will involve. And the last, we have a curriculum evaluation. Evaluation addresses the value and effectiveness of curriculum methods and activities. People differ in their ways regarding the purposes of evaluation and how evaluation data should be used. Evaluation is a process decision, is the formal determination of the quality, effectiveness, or value of program, project, processes, objectives, or curriculum. It includes inquiry and judgment methods. Number one, determining standards for judging quality and deciding whether those standards should be relative or absolute. Number two, collecting relevant information. And the three, applying standards of determine quality. And here we have the steps for evaluation. Focus on curriculum phenomena to be evaluated, collect information, organize the information, analyze the information, report the information, recycle the information, which continuous evaluation. Reporting to the intended audience evaluators should not only report the data but also interpret them and make recommendations for action. Also, we have many kinds of evaluation, but the common one is what here. Types. Three types of evaluation are commonly used. They are formative evaluation, is done during the process of curriculum development. Example, rather than continuous process which take place in between any number of time or a number of aspects, right planning, organization, and like that. Also have another which is summative evaluation. It's conducted at the end of the program. It aims at acquiring end or total picture of the total curriculum. I call it program and can comparing the intended objectives with the final outcomes of program after implementation. Eliminative evaluation. Another type of evaluation can be described as eliminative evaluation. This refers to evaluation that seeks to find out how different aspects of program work are being implemented. This is what we have in this lecture. So, is the lecture clear for you? Is the lecture clear?
Yes, Doctor, clear.
Yes. Yes. Do you have any question, any comment, any addition if you have about the lecture? Yes, we finished this lecture and we finish the material for this year at the same time. So if you don't have any question, I'll read your names.